Aave's bad debt debate now has a new challenge: whether DeFi buffers can absorb stress without shaking user confidence. The Aave Dragonfly argument is that major lending protocols can survive losses when they have enough capital, active governance, and risk systems that improve after failures. That matters because lending platforms sit close to the center of DeFi liquidity. That makes the discussion less about whether DeFi can avoid every loss and more about whether its largest systems can survive losses transparently. That makes transparent loss handling the core test. A mature lending system has to show users where losses go. Bad debt means a borrower's collateral is not enough to repay what they owe. In a lending protocol, that can happen when markets move too fast, liquidations fail, or collateral becomes harder to sell. The key question is not whether bad debt is embarrassing. The key question is whether the protocol has a buffer large enough to absorb it. The term sounds abstract, but in practice, it is the gap someone has to cover so lenders are not left with an unrecoverable hole. Someone still has to identify and fill the shortfall. That gap can become a trust issue if reserves are unclear. Haseeb Qureshi's view points directly at Aave's capital position. Aave is one of the largest DeFi lending protocols, so its financial cushion matters beyond one community. If losses can be covered by protocol equity or reserve mechanisms, users may avoid the panic that comes when a lending system looks underfunded. A capital cushion can turn a dangerous event into an accounting problem, but only if the reserve is real, accessible, and large enough for the specific shortfall. A buffer is useful only when it can be deployed quickly. Speed matters because market stress rarely waits for slow governance. The Aave Dragonfly view also uses DeFi history as context. The sector survived Black Friday liquidation failures in 2020, the Terra collapse, and the 2022 stETH depeg. Those events exposed weak points, but they also pushed protocols to adjust risk parameters, improve liquidation design, and make governance debates more active. Those examples matter because DeFi risk systems often improve after failure, not before it, when stress exposes weak liquidation auctions, collateral rules, or Oracle assumptions. Stress history is valuable only if it changes current rules. The best lesson from old failures is a more exact rulebook now. Governance is the part viewers should not skip. In DeFi, governance decides rules such as collateral limits, liquidation thresholds, accepted assets, and emergency changes. If community debate is specific and fast, it can strengthen the protocol. If debate becomes political theater, risk controls can lag behind market pressure. Governance quality is measurable when proposals name exact assets, thresholds, reserve movements, and timelines instead of relying on broad confidence. Good governance turns debate into exact protocol changes. Exact votes let users see whether the protocol is tightening risk or just talking. The open risk is contagion. Aave may have enough capital for its own bad debt, but DeFi systems connect through borrowed assets, collateral, liquid staking tokens, bridges, and market makers. A stress event becomes more dangerous when one protocol's weakness forces other users to unwind positions somewhere else. That connected risk is why a lending issue can become a market structure issue, especially when the same collateral supports positions across multiple protocols. Connected collateral makes isolated problems harder to isolate. That is why observers watch cross-protocol positions during any lending stress. For Aave Dragonfly, the next signal is not confidence language. It is the actual risk response. Reserve accounting, governance proposals, collateral parameter changes, and whether affected positions are absorbed without user disruption. If Aave handles bad debt transparently, the debate becomes a test of DeFi's risk machinery rather than a simple failure story. The concrete proof would be boring but powerful. Clear numbers, visible votes, no surprise user losses, and no forced unwind spreading through connected markets. Clean absorption would strengthen the case for mature DeFi lending. If that happens, the debate becomes evidence that governance and reserves can work under pressure.